evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 25th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, we call a roll, please.
Matt Gentry.
Present.
Becky McClure. Present. Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes or edits to those minutes? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Okay.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, minutes are approved. And on to department head reports. First up is Police Department. Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Let me start out by apologizing. The report I sent you guys earlier, I forgot to update the calls for service. So instead of being 1,055, it's 551 calls for service since our last meeting. In that same time, there were 22 people arrested for the following crimes: 4 for operating while intoxicated, 2 for intimidation, 8 were wanted on a warrant, 2 for possession of marijuana, 1 for possession of meth, 1 for domestic battery, 1 for invasion of privacy, 1 for theft, 1 for resisting law enforcement, and 1 for child solicitation. In that same time frame, 32 handgun permits were sent off to the state for final approval. Today, we hosted at the Lebanon Police Department a canine training with our canines and the probation departments, the county's probation department. They came up and were sniffing for drugs in the department. We're in the process of issuing out the new tasers that we got. All the officers will be going through training with them. The difference between the new ones and the old ones, the new ones have 2-shot capability, so if the first shot doesn't work for some reason, they, instead of having to take the cartridge off, get a new cartridge off their belt, get it loaded in the taser, they'll have the second shot ready for it. We've had 3 meetings with body worn, the body cam place in the last 2 weeks. The first 2 meetings were over uniforms and how we were going to get those to the guys and what the parameters were going to be for them. The third meeting was over the vehicles and how we were going to get that done and where they were going to do it at and stuff. So in that meeting, we decided to do it at the department since we have the old fire base, and we think we can get at least 5 cars in there at a time for them to work on. And instead of having Move Over do it, Body Worn's going to send some of their people up because it's their system. I feel like that'll probably be less problems in the future. When something doesn't go exactly right, they'll know how to fix it. And also, they're going to allow us to have at least a couple officers there while they do it so they can explain what they're doing, how they're doing it. So when there are problems, our guy can maybe fix it. Unless it's something really bad, then we'll have to make phone calls. That third meeting, IT was there also because a lot of stuff they said, I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand. It was IT stuff and it went right over my head. And then also our new policies from Lexipol, we have put those on the share drive so that you guys can review them and hopefully approve them or at least advise us on the changes that we need to make. And if anybody doesn't know how to get to it, let me know. I'll show you where it's at. That's all I have.
We'll pick those up at our next meeting, Chief, just FYI.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
So if you guys have a chance to look at those, just give them probably don't need to read every letter in them, but just give them a good overview. So.
You can ask Judge McClure. They're pretty exciting. She reviewed all of them for us.
Very excited.
So.
All right.
Sounds like it.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board?
No.
Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. All right, next up is Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. And just to echo what Chief Morgan said, just having Judge McClure on the Board of Works and be able to send those types of documents to her and get that type of feedback back was great to have, and we truly appreciate that. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 113 emergency calls from service. We logged 423 training hours, completed 35 commercial inspections, and maintenance was performed on 68 Knox boxes. And just to familiarize yourselves with Knox boxes, that's what businesses use to house keys for their business. Inside, we only have a key to that, so we go out, we maintain it, make sure the keys work properly when we do commercial inspections. Starting today, we are hosting a State Investigator 1 class. We have partnered with Elite Public Safety to bring this class to the city of Lebanon. We have 23 department members participating in the 40-hour class. During our audit of our standard operating guidelines, we updated our job descriptions from firefighter all the way to fire chief. And we felt like there was some educational requirements that we wanted to add. So we added Fire Officer 1 to ride-out officers and above. This is a wonderful class, just excellent instructors. One of our instructors will be Tim Murray. That's the state fire marshal's representative for our area, so he'll be instructing next week. So very fortunate to have such a well-versed organization come in and teach this class to our department. Very happy with them. This Friday, the LFD administrative team will be out at the Boone County Fairgrounds, and we're going to assist the health department as vaccinators. Looking forward to helping out and donating our time to something that we believe in and feel like it's very important for our community. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief Batts. Any questions for Chief from the board?
No?
Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up, Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. We are removing the interior of the Her Cabin restroom, renovating it. Also preparing for the log doctors to come in April or May, so we're trying to get all that renovation done before they come in. And they'll be doing a lot of renovation on the outside. We're getting the inside spruced up. We'll get the outside spruced up in the spring. We've added a new loft in one of our barn areas to store all our program items. Currently, we have them stored down at the concession stand at Memorial Park. We're going to demo it, put a playground in with a shelter, so we're getting that already. It's ready to be knocked down. Now we're looking at better weather to get that accomplished. Also installed ice dams on all the maintenance barn facilities, all the metal roofs, so nobody gets hurt that way. The fence around Memorial Park baseball field. There again, we took all the fence down, had to jack up the bleachers, put PVC pipes so we're ready to roll those back when we do all new asphalt inside the baseball area, which has been needed to be done for a long time. Real happy to get that accomplished this year as soon as the weather breaks. The hiring process started for 2021 summer season. We will be hiring part-time lifeguards and concession stand employees. This Saturday from 10 to 3 is the first one. The other one will be February 13th from 10 to 3. There again, all applicants must be 15 years old by April 1st, but looking for concession stand workers and also guards. Our snowman building contest has been extended to the end of February in hopes of snow. I'm sure that really makes Dave happy. Yeah, I think we have 5 right now currently, but the snowmen are about that big. But as far as that goes, we don't want snow, but we do for this contest, so it can come one day, be gone the next. If you have any, submit your pictures to the parks at lebanon.in.gov, and we'll do that again in February, the end of February. Currently planning for a city scavenger hunt to happen in mid-March. Be on the lookout for more information regarding that program.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Good
Yeah,
day.
got one. John?
Yes, sir.
That, you're talking about knocking down the old stand there
Yeah,
at the park?
concession stand, yes.
My first thought was, are you sure you want to do that, not use that for future storage for?
That's what we've been doing, and it's a catch-all. We've used it for programs. There again, we tried concession stand working out of there, but you can purchase all your stuff at the water park. And it's really, we've got great storage in the barns. We put a new loft in. We still have 2 more lofts we could put in other barns, which are very accessible. We put in nice, great big old stairways going in them. It's very accessible. But I hear you. I just think the need is for an all-inclusive playground putting a shelter there, nice handicap accessibility, and that's what we're looking at. If you have other ideas, we're open to it. That's
No,
just what
I
the-
mean, I could see it being taken down and,
Yeah, it's just kind of a
opening up
nice
the
store out
space,
there in
but-
the middle of the park and isn't used for anything. I know there's a lot of history in the old one, 2-story, and then it went down to 1-story, but yeah, ever
just,
changing.
I hate to see you get rid of storage, future storage that you may need.
Yeah, and there again, if we get the one down at, the building down at Abner Longley, our storage issues are resolved, so, which Rob's been working wholeheartedly on, so there we go. Thank you.
All right, bud.
Any other questions for the board from John?
No.
Anything for the public? All right, thank you. Next up, Engineering Department, Kevin Kulik.
Thank you, board members. Engineering updates, a little bit of a lull, I guess, here as this time of year on construction and infrastructure projects. But give you an update on a few things. Our Whit Road Bridge project is progressing. I remind you and remind everybody at home that we are targeting a 45-day closure for the replacement of that bridge. That's a full closure, probably in September, October of this year. But as we stand right now, we are working with our designers. We are working with the county on this project. We will be opening requests for proposals from engineering firms for inspection on the 12th of February. And right now, we're just working through utility relocations. It's really what about the next 6 months will be, is getting all the utilities out of the way. And then hopefully we'll be also bidding the project in February. And then once utilities are out of the way, we'd be starting construction in September. And as I said, wrapping up in about 45 days. Other projects related to that, the Elmwood Bridge project, the RFP for bridge design is due this Friday. So next time before you, I will have the results of that process, and hopefully be selecting an engineering firm to begin the process, similar process to Whit Road on that bridge. Big Four Trail expansion, good news. We received notification from the state, from DNR, that they are going to open back up round 2 of the Next Level Trails program. And because we were shortlisted the last time, they have asked those people that were shortlisted to basically respond with a questionnaire of anything that we've done over the last 12 months to better prepare ourselves. And so I'm happy to report, as you're probably aware, at the end of the year, we agreed to move forward with the DLZ design contract, and that issue is pending final approvals this evening, but that design contract will move us forward with the design of the Big Four Trail, and just makes our grant application package for Next Level Trails money that more interesting to the state. So hopefully good news to come on that shortly. Grant Street projects. I think I mentioned this last time, but the county is moving forward with the William Street Bridge project that is sort of associated with the Grant Street project. That will include water utility relocations on William Street over spring break, and it will also then get things ready for bridge reconstruction June 1st through August 15th while school is out. This is just sort of a side project on the Grant Street project, which later tonight you'll have, we have 2 LPA contracts between us as the LPA, the local public agency, and NDOT for right-of-way and construction expenses associated with the Grant Street project. Keeping in mind, we're targeting a July of 2022 letting for 2023 construction. Also in that general area, the Fordyce Street project is moving along. We're basically at our preliminary field check set of plans that will be sent out to utility companies, and we'll have a utility meeting here probably in early February to begin coordinating those utility relocations associated with that project. Let's see, a couple more updates. The Stone Eater Bike Park, really excited. Some partnerships are beginning to come into focus. I've mentioned some of these before, like the Sundance Mountain Bike Skills Clinic. They're on board with operating events at the facility and being our instruction partner. Lebanon Community School Corporation wants to run cross-country events there. In the last week, we've really started solidifying our partnership with the Trophy Club Golf Course in use of their facilities, facilities like restrooms, like locker rooms, their clubhouse, promoting events, promoting bike park users to go over there for a meal or a beverage after a ride. So we're really excited about that. That's a really unique partnership I think we're beginning to form there. Very excited about this next one, Marian University, the head coach of Marian University. Marian University, if you don't know, has just top-notch nationwide cycling programs. In fact, the last 10 years, they typically are number 1 or 2 in the country for their BMX cycling, their track cycling, and their road cycling. And they have a pretty competitive mountain bike cycling program as well. So Marian University, I met with Dean Peterson, their head coach, last week. Very excited of them coming alongside of us and seeing this as a potential training venue for them and possibly bringing us some NCAA events to the facility if we can get that up and off the ground. Also, a local cycling team youth cycling team out of Zionsville, Midwest Devo, is also very excited about the partnership. And we are now finalizing our partnership with Indianapolis Bicycle Garage. IDEM, adaptive reuse permitting, is still moving forward. Our consultant had a good conversation with them last week. No major hurdles have been put before us. They expect to have comments and or approvals out to us by February 16th. Let's see, regional detention program. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the business park with the New Cold project, and that includes a partial construction of our middle detention pond. And then some construction updates from our inspection department. Sunbrook Villas, we've completed all storm sewer repairs. They have issued all of their bonds, pulled and took their plats to be recorded. And I know they're also trying to pull building permits in the villas. So it's exciting to see that moving forward. Sunbrook Section 1 is now complete. Sunbrook Section 2, they are moving forward with lot grading and doing storm sewer repairs this week. Auburn Meadows Section 3, storm sewer work continues. It's about 90% complete. Water installation is also ongoing, about 25% complete. Out in the business park, a lot of private site development work continues on New Cold and Building 16. Walls starting to go up on Building 16, so exciting to see some things happening out there. And with that, that's all I have.
Hey, Kevin, any questions for Kevin from the board? Anything for the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department activity for the last couple of weeks. We did complete 56 building inspection and issued 31 permits. Just wanted to point out a couple of highlights in the permits that are pretty exciting for our office. I know as Kevin just mentioned, Sunbrook Villas. We did have 3 permits submitted today, so we're working through a couple issues getting the correct information on those permits, but we should be ready to issue those later this week once we've confirmed that they have recorded their plat. So they did pick up that plat today to go get it recorded, so that should be done anytime. So we're ready to start issuing permits in Sunbrook Villas. In Sunbrook, they're supposed to pick up their plat later this week to go get it recorded, so they should be ready to go pretty quick on that neighborhood also to start issuing permits. On the commercial side, a couple of projects we're pretty excited about. One is the permit was just recently submitted for the car wash on North Lebanon Street. I know that's been a long time coming. That got its planning approvals quite a while ago, but they are ready to pull that permit and start construction on that site, so that's great news. And then also Clues Brews project downtown, we issued their remodel permit today. I know they were eager to get started construction in their site on the square, so that permit was issued and they're ready to move forward. So we're pretty excited about all those projects and see more projects that come along. On the code enforcement side, continue to see a lot of activity there. It's been remained strong. You know, if we've got now that we have 2 people involved in code enforcement, there's a lot more activity that we can address. And then we're also looking about proactive methods to do those things this year as well. A couple other things to point out, we're looking at some text amendments to the Unified Development Ordinance related to parking downtown. Right now, folks like Clues Brews or Merle Norman, as they move spaces, we're required to review the parking requirements, which is kind of a challenge when these buildings don't have any parking associated with them. So we're looking at providing an opportunity for certain exemptions for off-street parking for certain sized uses. So, small uses like Merle Norman where they're required to have like 8 spaces, but certainly the building takes up the entire lot. There's no way unless they tore down a building to be able to provide parking spaces. So we're going to allow some exemptions in the central business district up to a certain level, after which you have to provide that off-street parking. But that should be coming through probably in the next month or so. I'll have to go through Planning Commission and Council. That's something we are looking at doing, and a couple other minor text amendments that will be coming forward too. So that's some things we're working on early this year. Otherwise, we're just keeping busy with the stuff coming. Got a lot of projects that are coming our way this year, so we're keeping busy. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Nope. Anything from the public? Yep. Thank you, sir. Next up is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's it going? Glad I'm in here and not plowing snow or nothing, so I'll take it. We've been still picking up some Christmas trees, believe it or not. I think they're about done. Yeah, but we picked them up all the way into summer before.
I still got mine up.
They usually don't have needles left on them, but we have picked them up.
Epiphany.
Cleaning drains off. We're pretty busy today doing that, getting ready for the rains that might come in instead of the snow. Had a few sign repairs. Let's see, we've been out about 3 times since our last meeting. We was out the 15th to do some pre-treating. That helped a lot with the roads freezing up overnight. On that event, we used 15 tons of salt. We were also out the 18th. This was during the holiday again, so it's a huge thank you to the crew, to the guys and the crew for going out on their holiday. I was sure they'd rather been at home, but they didn't fuss. They came out, and we did 15 tons as well on that event. And then obviously today we were pre-treating as well. Went out first thing this morning as the guys got in, and we used 17 tons of material on that one, but we was trying to get out. It's just the weather was all over the place. We wasn't sure what we were getting, so it looks like maybe we're not getting quite as much. Even if we do, we're ready. We got material down, so didn't rain wash it off, so we should be good to go. We go tomorrow night before the Planning Commission, or the 26th tomorrow night, for our street department facility. So during our next meeting, maybe I'll be able to have something with Joe, hook up with Joe and have a slide so you guys can see, the plans and where we've gotten to. We're just trying to make it through all the hurdles before we brought anything up here, and then it all changed on us. But it's going really good. Really happy with KRM and everybody we're working with and Kramer, so it's going real good. What else do we got here? We have done 30 hours of training this year already, so we're trying to just utilize the waiting on the daylight. So while the guys are getting there, me and Tom and myself, Tom and Craig, we're just doing training. We need them for MS4 anyway, and just 3 points of contact, stuff like that. Good attitudes, just stuff we can cover and help make our environment better, and way we present ourselves to our community and stuff. That's what we always try to do. Just a reminder, the street department is hiring still. We're going to keep that open through the rest of the week, and then we'll shut it down and start doing some interviewing. We've had a lot of applicants this time, so that's great. We're happy about that. I want to say maybe 7 or 8, maybe 10, and last time we had 2. So
Good.
So it's getting out there. I think the pay increase everybody approved last year really helped, get people to want to come work for us, and looks like we got some pretty good candidates too, so that's always good. Just a reminder that they can get on our city website and get those, or they can come to our address at 1301 Lafayette Avenue, and we'll give them one, and they just turn in their application with their resume. Any questions, they can call the office at 765-482-8870. And like I said, that's just going to run the rest of the week, and then we'll shut it down and start doing some interviewing. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave from the board? No. Go ahead, Dick.
When's it gonna snow so I can stay home?
I hope not. Kevin says February. John wants it today so he can get snowmen. They can Google those things. They didn't have to build it. I guess we're intimidating the snow. I mean, it's going to come some more, but we'll just deal with it.
Okay. All right, any questions from the public? Thanks, Dave, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, Communications, Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Some of you know this already firsthand, but the Community Development Department is increasing its visual media out to the public and beyond. Tomorrow, we'll be shooting a video with the help of Ben Bontrager, talking about some of the new housing developments within our community. So Ben's going to kind of give us an update on that, but that's going to be shot to put together for a video. And Chief Morgan, once we get some better weather with the LPD, has graciously agreed to help shoot some drone footage of kind of a above the scenes view. So Ben's going to talk at ground level, we'll get some video on the ground level, and then partnering with LPD at a later time, we'll get some drone moving pictures as well of those developments happening within our community. It's expansive and it's a lot of fun to talk about. Later this week, we'll be shooting another video highlighting a growing manufacturing small business in town along Indianapolis Avenue. Maybe you guys and gals have been to it and heard more great details about it. And some of you firsthand have been helping to help us take steps to spruce up some of the things on the website, some of the content, the images. You'll notice a lot of new pictures being taken, and some were even taken tonight to be able to put on the website at a later date. The Banners and Tigers are continuing to be on the prowl for 2021. The first tiger statue of the new year, Cubby, was unveiled last week. Cubby's on display at Perryworth Elementary, and Cubby is used as a reward for young people who display positive traits. They get their picture taken with Cubby, and then once that happens, their name is put into a bowl and it's drawn out, and those students whose names are drawn out get their picture taken, and it's framed, and it's put in the foyer, and they get a t-shirt. It's a big deal to have your picture taken with Cubby. And so again, these tiger statues, Cubby is one of 20 that our city has purchased, and with the help of local artists, kind of put those on display throughout the community. More tigers will be coming up, and many thanks to the Parks Department for taking such good care of them, coating them to be able to hold up in the weather, and also either putting some on wheels like they've done for the schools, or putting them on a concrete slab so they don't walk away, those tigers. So many thanks to the Parks Department for that. 32 small banners will soon be ordered. Did some measurement with the help, and really they did it. The street department, many thanks to those gentlemen for measuring the poles. We have an accurate measurement before we order, and John Mount from Mount's Graphics for putting those banners together. A lot of those quality of life pictures, and we're also highlighting a lot of our Lebanon legends as well on the smaller banners as they head west on Main Street. So thanks to all who helped put those together. Finally, some members of the Lebanon Arts team met with the state's Art Council, who connected us with Adrian Starnes from the IU Center for Rural Engagement. The focus there is how to flesh out more of our area artists, because in talking with one, Chris Jovanovich with the yoga studio, she said a lot of artists, there's a lot of art and culture in our community. People just are kind of underground with it. And so Mr. Starnes with IU Center for Rural Engagement gave us some tips and some things that we can put into place to help kind of draw those folks out, give them a friendly space to utilize their talents and really increase the influx of art into our community. And so looking forward to continue to rolling out those initiatives in the days and weeks to come.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. We'll move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? No. Okay. New business then. First item up is a road closure request from That Sports Bar, but I don't see her here. Joe, do you have details on it, maybe?
I will share the details that I have. I'm not sure if Danielle ran into a scheduling conflict. I messaged her. I know you all listened to our 1111 podcast, and so she was on episode number 29 where she talked about That Sports Bar St. Patrick's Day celebration that's coming up on March 13th and 14th. Just checking the website as I was sitting down and messaging Danielle. It has a start date of March 13th at 6 a.m., wrapping up on March 14th at 3 a.m. And so as far as what date or time rather the street closure would be for, I'm not sure. I don't know how long it will take them to set up. I do know they are going to be on Smith Street from 32 to West Main. That they utilized that area last year. And again, that's 6 a.m. March 13th, and this is the event time, to March 14th at 3 a.m. And so if you go 2 hours on each side, I know Danielle has spoken with and has incentivized folks that live in that area and kind of made it not worth their while, but kind of help let them know what was going on, and also treated them right to be able to deal with and have an event that she's expecting to be rather large this year. And so, again, not sure when they want the closure to start. I know there were booths and different things that were set up last year. I've been told it's more of the same. So if it's 2 hours on the front end, 2 hours on the back end, to be honest, I don't know the time. Like I said, I've messaged her through Facebook and on via cell.
Well, let's, we'll come back to this one and just kind of give me the high sign if maybe she messages you back.
Okay.
And we can come back and address this. Again, it's that one block of Smith Street that, people may think is actually part of their parking lot, but it's not. It's actual part of the street. So that's what we're talking about.
That's what we did last year.
Correct, yeah. We did it last year, and I think she buys her hotel room for the people, the neighbors that live next door.
And gift certificates to take them out to eat, things like that.
So
What year is this, of this event? And about
This is the second year.
this is the second year, yeah.
second year?
Yeah, I think last year was right as things were kind of locking down, so there's kind of an issue that I don't
Was
think.
there any problems or anything? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Not that I know, not aware of.
So we'll bump this back, and let's see if she walks in or if she messages you, Joe, just kind of let me know, and if not, we'll just address it our next meeting. Obviously, it's St. Patrick's Day, so it's still January, so we got time, so.
Okay.
Okay, next item up then is surplus items, Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. Bill's been working on that. Appreciate him coming out. We have two 72-inch diesel mowers that we're going to trade in for two newer ones. It's part of that trade-in. And then we also are trading in two John Deere Gators that are very old, along with a old John Deere snow blower and a case for, what do you call it, like a Gator, and trading those in.
Yes, right. And I did look at them, and yeah, this is a case Scout.
Scout, that's
Yeah.
it. Okay, I didn't know the name.
I did review them, and I reviewed the trade-in prices, and everything looks to be in order,
Good.
so.
There was an edit on the John Deere 4x2, that one of them says 200 and not 2,000. There was just a typo on that, so we'll
Yeah, that's,
adjust the form, make
that's
sure
my
that.
fault.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So,
Okay.
no, I think I built that, so. So any questions for John on these? Again, pretty standard trade-in stuff for him.
No.
Okay. At this time, I would entertain a motion to declare the items as detailed in the handouts and discussed as surplus.
I make a motion, we declare the Parks Department surplus equipment as noted on the handout and the surplus equipment forms.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alan.
Thank you.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. Thank you, John. All right, and next up is contract approval of LPA. This is Kevin for the Grant Street right-of-way acquisition.
Thank you. Once again, I mentioned these earlier. These are the NDOT LPA contracts associated with right-of-way acquisition and construction. So these are for the Grant Street projects. These are not the final numbers, of course. Those numbers will be finalized as we get to bidding in the summer of 2022. But we have to go ahead and execute these contracts between us and NDOT to move forward with these services. So on the, we have two contracts before you tonight. Sorry if that was confusing on the agenda. Two LPA contracts, one for right-of-way. There's a lot to these, but basically what I'll tell you is that these basically state that on the right-of-way that the state and our consultants and myself have estimated the right-of-way total expenditures coming in at about $290,400. And NDOT will use federal funds to reimburse up to 80% of that eligible amount. So exactly what it will be as we perform the work. On the construction side of things, it's 80% of eligible costs up to and not exceeding $2,886,772 for the actual construction. So again, those numbers will be finalized and contracts revised as we get to final bidding and final right-of-way buying. but we have to put these contracts in place before NDOT allows us to move forward with those
What
activities.
was the construction number again?
Instruction number, this is the eligible awarded federal funds, is $2,886,772.
Okay, thank you.
And then the eligible federal funds for right-of-way is
I got that one.
$290,400.
Tanya, do we need 2 motions per contract, or just one's fine?
One is fine.
Just one's fine?
I'll just, yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
Any questions for Kevin on those contracts? Again, these are probably pretty standard NDOT
That's
LPA
per your,
contracts.
that's per your attachments, right?
Yep, standard NDOT contracts. They're set up for the mayor to be signatory on these. So I don't know that we have to clarify a motion with that, but the mayor would be executing.
All right, this time I would entertain a motion to approve the LPA contract approvals with NDOT.
I'll make a motion we
And
approve the-
authorizing me to sign on your guys' behalf.
I'll make a motion where you approve the LPA agreements with NDOT and authorize the mayor to sign.
We have motions, is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. We'll get
Thank you.
those signed, get those to NDOT, get that moving forward. I had a question about it yesterday, so people are excited when Grant Street's going to start. So I try to tell them with, it's a federal program, so it just takes a little longer than a local one, so.
Takes a little bit of time.
All right. Thank you, Kevin, appreciate you see that roll. Okay, I don't see anything from Joe, so that concludes new business. We'll handle the street closure request at our next meeting. Any other new business from the board? Okay, any announcements or discussion? Okay, we'll entertain a motion then to approve the claims.
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims, is there a second? Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved, and would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, February 8th. Thanks for watching. City Council's up next.